A marketplace plan is basically set up if you don't get insurance through your employer. It's for 1099s, people who, for some reason, the employer plan doesn't fit them and they need a different route. Don't work for a large corporation and hate your life. He said you want to have the freedom, you want to be able to sell the way you want, you want to control your schedule. Selling structure, it's very different from other brokerage firms. Just again, we're a small family-owned business. So I never had to go through any strict trainings per se. My dad just threw me in and said, let's see how you handle it and then we'll fix you on the way. Hello everyone, I'm Ava Burke with RBF Wealth Advisors and welcome to the Working Class Roundup.
Saddle up. Punch that clock. Let's ride. This is a working class roundup. Spurs, truck, boots up, pants rub. Clock in, hold on, don't fold up. We get paid, get drained, still show up. From the plant yard dust to the highway rust. Raise that cup, let's sound off. This is the working class roundup.
Welcome to the Working Class Roundup. My name is Cowboy Jody Collins, and we're here. I've got a very, very special guest on something that's very, very hot topic, group insurance. And my expert, my guru, my go-to person, Miss Ava Burke, welcome. Thank you for being here this morning.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Here at the Working Class Roundup, what we do is we feature small and mid-sized business in the great state of Texas, and we ask them what inspired them to get into that business. We ask them what makes them special, what makes them tick. And then on the flip side, we talk about the nightmares and the claims that could potentially happen to their industry or their potential clients. With that, Ava, what inspired you to get into group health insurance?
Yes, so a few different reasons why I got into group health insurance. The main one, gonna be honest, it's a family business. So my dad is my boss. His name is Christopher Burke. The firm is in St. Louis, Missouri. We are licensed in 20 plus states. My main reason, I just have always wanted to work with my dad, and he's always ingrained into me and my two sisters, be your own boss, don't work for, or not don't work for, but
It's okay, you can say that.
don't work for a large corporation and hate your life. He said, you want to have the freedom, you want to be able to sell the way you want, you want to control your schedule.
Okay. So legacy, be your own boss, right?
Yes.
That's what inspired you, which is cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Talk about what you do that's unique.
Okay, so unique. Our selling structure is, I would say it's very different from other brokerage firms. Just again, we're a small family-owned business.
Right.
So I never had to go through any strict trainings per se. My dad just threw me in and said, let's see how you handle it and then we'll fix you on the way. And I learned that's how I learn best, honestly. So it worked. But what makes our firm very unique from other different brokerage firms is that we're very personable. So I like to get to know the employees. I love to do in-person trainings, education moments, open enrollments versus sending the HR electronic files saying, okay, just get me these forms back whenever. I want to go and I want to bring pizza, I want to bring donuts, I want to bring whatever they want me to bring to make health insurance as fun as possible.
So you're saying you don't leverage the AI bots to say, hey, you're open enrollment.
Correct.
Well, that's good. That's a personal touch. I like that.
And if it's whatever the business wants. If they want that, great.
Okay.
Makes my life easier. I don't enjoy it as much though, because I want to build relationships and put a face to names because I want to enjoy my job too, and I'm a people person. So I would like to, I don't know, get to.
Oh, that's evident. I can tell that. I can tell that about since knowing you. You are definitely a people. Now, what products does your firm offer?
So yeah, great question. To get in the door with businesses, we promote group health insurance because that is a huge retention tool for companies, just again, to retain employees. Along with health insurance, we do group dental, group vision, your smaller ancillary products that complete the full package.
Okay.
I can't talk about this too much. I'm not licensed to, but we also do retirement plans if a group wants to do a 401k, Roth, IRA. Again, not licensed for that. My dad and the other advisors are, so I can't go more into that.
That's fine. I'll make sure that that's a topic that's off. So disclosure to the working class. They do offer retirements, but Ava will not be talking about that. She's being compliant.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good. But hey, there's plenty here to talk. So what would you say? Because there's a lot of news and there's a lot of fallacies out there about health insurance. Oh, it's unaffordable. I can't get it. I've got pre-existing, all these things. So what is one of the biggest fallacies about group health or even that new product you were telling me about, the individual health or the group stuff?
I would say the biggest fallacy about group health plan is the unaffordable part. So people, employees, and just anyone in general, they hear the word health insurance and they think, oh my God, insanely expensive. And yes, it does tend to be expensive, but if you're working for an employer, they contribute a lot or whatever they choose to contribute towards that premium per month.
Okay.
So when you take a step back as an employee or just a normal person in civilization, you either have that, you have the marketplace essentially to choose from. That's what I sell. That's how I look at it. A lot of the times the marketplace is more expensive and it's just way more cost effective to go through the employer. Not saying it's cheap. Nothing's cheap with health insurance.
Never is. Never is.
But I would say, yeah, the biggest fallacy is people not realizing that their employer will pay for their benefits or pay for
Or
a
part of it.
portion
Yeah.
of their benefits, whether that's group health. A lot of the times they pay for 50% depending on the size of the group. We can get into that later.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no, that's
but
a good segue because again, there are companies out there that have incentives as
Exactly.
group health
Yeah.
for the more people that join. Because again, it's optional,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's what I've always learned is that even if you work for a company that say has 500 people or 1,000 people across the country, it's optional. You don't have to take those benefits.
Correct. You just have to sign that you're waiving, obviously. So there's
Right.
proof in the back office. But yes, yeah, you can. It's always an option. Um, but I highly suggest when I do open enrollments for people to enroll, especially again if you even have to pay $150 a month and the employer contribute or pays for the rest of the premium. It's because when you take another bigger step back and look at full scope, it's like, okay, you have kids, husband, a family, whatever it is. You don't want to be in $1 million medical debt.
No.
And you don't realize that, and that we can get
How-
into
and
horror
how-
stories.
Yeah, and how quick it goes, right? And that could be horror stories, but how quick it adds up,
Oh,
right?
Everything is.
Urgent care could be $300-$400. And again, if you're just paying the $125-$150 a month, it
Yeah.
paid for itself, right? The hospital, $500-$600.
You
And
walk
that's
into that,
deductible.
yeah,
But if
yeah.
you don't have the deductible, it's $2,000, right?
Exactly.
And yeah, so it's almost. In fact, I know people often job search, and they'll have multiple offers that they can take, and they'll take the one that has the better benefits
Yeah,
package
yeah.
because it's about
Yeah.
because people go to work, they go to work, and their full rationale for working is to take care of their family.
Yeah.
But that includes not only money to pay the bills, but it also includes health insurance to take care of the family,
Exactly.
and then savings for their future selves.
Exactly.
So yeah, that makes total sense. Now you said dental, vision, and those little auxiliary lines. How often do people actually set those up? Because one of the complaints I've always heard is that, oh yeah, I got dental, but it only covers like $5,000 a year.
Again, it depends. So I'm a broker, so I have access to all the different carriers. So
Okay.
when I go out to shop for a specific group, I work with small group too. So under 50, I like it more. It's more personable.
Right,
Again, that's
It's right in your alley. Yeah.
yeah. So I get quotes back from not the marketplace, but from our back office that they're our support team and that we use them to quote basically. So we get 20 different quotes from 20 different carriers. And I look at the plans and based off of my discovery notes with the employer and if the employees have insight, if they need upcoming dental work, I get every information that I can get my hands on, just all information. So I use that to look at quotes and say, okay, this is the strongest plan, but it's also most cost effective.
Okay.
Or if they're not needing as rich of a plan, okay, this is just kind of a basic plan again, like 2 cleanings per year, because a lot of the dental plans are similar.
Yeah.
There are a few carriers that I recommend that are stronger versus other ones. But
Yeah, no, that
can't-
makes sense.
can't
Yeah,
say
we won't,
carriers
we don't throw any carriers out
But-
under the bus or over the bus or.
But then back to the full package, it just looks better for when you're hiring or if you're an upcoming business instead of saying, okay, we just have not just it's great that small businesses offer health insurance, but we also have dental, vision, a small term life policy. that we could add on to, and then short-term disability, long-term, like all of those different extra policies that make the entire benefits package.
So you just flared the question under the hat here,
Yeah.
and I want to ask. So if I'm talking, because working class nation, it's small and mid-sized businesses. So for that small entrepreneur that's just starting out and they're now just hiring people, but they want to give them something because they want to make it attractive.
Yes.
What would be your advice? Again, it's just your advice. It's like a doctor. They can get consulted by somebody else. But what of the programs that you offer, which ones should you add if you have to do it in layers? If you
Yes.
can't do it all at once, because sometimes cost,
Yeah.
which ones would you do first?
So I talk to my dad about this a lot because we always work with small businesses that don't offer anything yet. We always say retirement plan first. I can't go into that, but
Yeah.
retirement is
Okay,
vital for
that's fair.
future savings.
Pay
The
yourself
product-
first.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, then
And then I say group or health insurance.
Health
just
insurance.
because you get the most rich benefits through the health insurance. Sure, dental, vision, that usually comes a year or 2 years later.
okay.
Yeah, just
No,
because
that,
again,
and
health
and that makes
insurance-
sense because again, it's what's the best order of operation?
And a lot of with these health insurance plans too, again, there's different carriers. We could talk about fully insured, level funded, self-insured. There's different kinds of
Sure.
plans too.
Well, that was going to be, you actually segued to my next question was that, so if they did talk about it, and we're not going to divulge into it, but the retirement first,
Yeah.
what are options for the customers, the company that says, okay, I'm going to do this, but what advice can I give my employees for the health insurance that they might have to secure on their own?
So when this always happens. So I say I do marketplace plans. So I have quoted probably 100 people because we're new to marketplace plans. This was our first open enrollment. Went wonderful. I really like it. It's a great addition to our.
I digress. What is a marketplace plan for the working class?
Yes, sorry. A marketplace plan is basically set up if you don't get insurance through your employer. It's
Okay.
for 1099s, people who, for some reason, the employer plan doesn't fit them and they need a different route.
Okay.
So it's just, for some people, it's their only option. For
Different
some
or
people, it's
unique
their
plans, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And you can fit them also with health insurance. With group health plan, you're not looking at just one employer, you're looking at the mass population. So you can't, if one employee doesn't like it as much, it doesn't fit them as properly, but it's better for the employer and for the population, the employees. It's unfortunate, but okay, we have the marketplace. We can go look at if you're younger, if you're depending where you live, that is based on price, depending on
Sure, it makes total sense.
so-
But yeah, no, that's great. That's thank you.
Yeah.
My producer it's nice. He's not screaming at me. He's telling me we do have to take a break. So we're gonna take a quick break for some announcements from our partners and our sponsors of this here podcast. Thank you for joining us with Miss Ava Burke. We'll be right back.
Most businesses waste money boosting weak content. We focused on strong content first. A lot of people, they post content everywhere expecting results. But what they fail to do is do the strategy side of things. Like, yes, the algorithm loves that you post content every single day. But the thing is AI can do that. So what makes your brand different is being more consistent, yes, but also being more impactful with your clients and with your content. If you're interested in learning more, please book a strategy call today and I'll see you there.
Hey, Working Class Nation, Cowboy Jody Collins here with Amex Commercial. If you own your business, if you have a business you work for and you need to protect it, we want to be that company to protect you. We want to offer you those solutions that fit your budget. We can offer general liability, workers' comp, commercial auto, or any of the other commercial lines of business available to protect your assets. Give us a call today at the link below. We'd love to help you out. See you on the flip side. Enjoy the rest of the show. Welcome back to the Working Class Roundup with my guest, Ava Burke, talking about group health. Now we're getting into the nightmares. All right. So what I want to know is, what is the biggest fire that you've had to put out with regards to health insurance?
So not gonna lie, there have been quite a few fires just from miscommunication, I would say, from small businesses, because again, when you look at small business, they don't necessarily have a big HR department. So it's kind of a learning progress, I guess I would say, for the business.
They
But
say
again,
curve, but it's
learning
a sharper.
curve,
Yeah,
yes,
it's a
it's
learning curve, but it's a lot sharper.
yes, exactly. I would say the biggest fire I've had to put out, and it turned out great. It worked out everything. Usually you negotiate and it's fine in the end. So there was this couple, and her husband basically worked for one of our group clients, and she was almost the one who was in charge of like the household insurance bills, everything. So I was in communication with her the whole time. Um, they decided one year that they were going to go the marketplace route, and this is the marketplace back home. It was in Illinois, so marketplace is a little there's Illinois is a little more stringent on rules and whatnot, which is fine. Um, but anyway, he was in the middle of a treatment, and it disrupted the whole treatment basically for him.
Oh, wow.
So his doctors were out of network. They didn't check. This was before I sold individual, so I didn't help them get that plan. So a lot of his doctors were out of network, going from a PPO plan to an HMO plan. It's just more it's tedious, that transition. They submitted a complaint basically to the state for that marketplace plan, then we put them back on their
Okay.
group plan. So that is the biggest fire I've had to put out, and I, again, built relationship with this lady and her husband. They were super sweet, and I just wanted to do my best to help them, and that was honestly the first time I've had to do that, because I've been in this industry for 2.5 years. So, um
So the lesson that the working class to learn from then is make sure they communicate, right?
make sure you communicate. Make sure you communicate with your broker or HR, that your doctors are in network, what the best option is, because again, if I sold them the individual plan, I would have told them straight up, okay, your doctors, showed them who was in network, who wasn't in network, what medications, blah blah blah, all of this stuff.
Right.
And just help them make their best decision, because that's my duty as a fiduciary.
Right.
But
Right. And then
uh,
that's important, is making sure that people understand how the product's worth.
education is huge, and
Right.
informing people, because again, it's insurance. People hear that and they're like ears off, don't want to talk about it. So that's why it's okay. You need to understand.
And the one thing that I always love about insurance, because again, I'm on the flip side of the coin, right? I deal with commercial insurance, general liability,
Mhm.
workers' comp and those things, is that it's always evolving. It's always changing.
Mhm.
One state changes, then 20 states will follow suit, and now there's a new law with it, right? Or there's a new coverage, or
Yeah.
there's something else that we have to disclose and make sure
Mhm.
people understand it. So, and that's always usually predicated on lawsuits. I will give that little
Yes.
that little tidbit that typically when an insurance carrier changes something in their procedure, it's because of a lawsuit, and then
Yep.
they have to
Yep.
exclude or include, endorse that
Yep.
information.
Yeah.
Now I do want to talk about something because it's really important,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of people don't understand this, and so I want to clarify for the working class that when your health insurance, your group health insurance, whether you buy it privately or whether it's through your company,
Mhm.
there are certain types of claims or set types of issues that happen that now your company or your group health might not care cover, right? Typically, those are in the top two are auto accidents. If you were involved with an auto
Yeah.
accident, typically your group health doesn't want to cover that primarily.
Yeah.
They will on backside some stuff,
Yeah.
and then workers' comp, right? And the way you know this is if you have an accident or if you get hurt on the job and you go into the hospital as you fill out all that legalese paperwork. I mean, there's 10
I was
pages.
in.
At the bottom, it says, was this incident because of an auto accident? Was this incident because of an injury on the job? They ask point blank because they
Mhm.
want to know, okay, what's the order of operation that I'm going to send that? You wanna talk about that? The what's the word I'm looking for? The restrictions on coverage from health insurance with regards to workers' comp or to auto accidents. You want to talk a little bit about the differences there between the two?
You know what, Jody? You're more of an expert on that. Why don't you discuss some of those differences?
Look at that tennis smash. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. So again, because I have the deal, you don't ever probably see those, but clients oftentimes when they go to a hospital after getting injured,
Mhm.
right? If they mark the box, yes, hey, this was at a job. Typically, the hospital is going to take care of you. They're gonna do their ding.
Mhm.
They're gonna send out the bills to the health insurance. Health insurance is going to get it because
Yeah.
that's what you listed.
Yeah.
They might sometimes, if they're well versed, they might say, "Hey, who is the workers' comp plan with?" But they don't always do that.
Yeah.
If you can't talk, they're not going to bother asking. They're going
Yeah.
to say, "This is what we got. We'll work with it." Then on the follow up, typically the consumer will get a letter and a couple phone calls saying, "Hey, on this date you were injured.
Mhm.
Um, what was the cause or the nature of the accident?"
Yeah.
And they want to find out. And if it looks like that the accident was a true injury on the job site or an auto accident, they will ask, "Hey, who is your auto insurance? Who was the other party's auto insurance? Who is the company you're working for?" Because they will want to subrogate,
Yeah.
which is a big fancy legal word for lawsuit,
Yeah.
to recoup the funds. Because again, group health is for just getting sick. It's for ailments. It's
Medically
for,
necessary.
yeah, I broke my
treatments.
leg riding my
Yeah.
bike, right? If you're working or you're driving an automobile, that do that. If you're driving an automobile, um, it has medical insurance on it. There's coverages there that will pay primary, and then your group health can pay excess
Secondary,
on
yeah.
the backside if need be,
Yeah.
right? If it's multiple sessions
Yeah.
of rehab and things like that, they'll let the other one cap out. But that's how you can control cost,
Yeah.
right? So that way the group health insurance don't keep going up because
Yeah.
there's all these little pies
Policy. Yeah.
that handle what they handle.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No.
great question back
Great
at
one.
me.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
love
say
it. That's awesome. You're questioning me. I love it. I love it. But those are usually typically the biggest nightmares for my side.
Yes, and again, for my side, we can discuss this later, but we have lawyers on our team in the back office that handle that. So I don't see that every day, and hopefully our clients haven't gone through too much of that.
I'm glad you brought that up because you've got to remember, and this is important,
Mhm.
right? Insurance. I don't care what insurance it is. It could be financial planning insurance,
Mhm.
like annuities and life insurance. It could be life, health, disability. It could be PNC or
Mhm.
commercial. It is a contract.
Yes.
The contract.
Yep.
It has endorsements and exclusions and definitions, and it's all in legalese.
Yeah, the 35-page contract.
That's right. And lawyers go over
Yeah.
those things and they modify those
Yeah.
things and they use big words that, again, typically that's why agents like us have to be licensed so that we can help translate those. And we talk only about what we're licensed for
Yeah.
because, again, it's really, really important that we know our stuff.
There's a lot. I will say the I didn't know before getting into this industry how much compliance, what you can say, can't say, this stuff.
Continuing education.
Continuing it.
Right.
Yeah.
The 40
Which
hours every two
yeah,
weeks, and
yeah.
some of it has to be in person. And again, it's so that we are
Up to date
up
of
to
what
date. We
yeah.
really are doctors of
Yeah.
insurance,
Yeah.
right? We are professionals, and just like doctors, we have specialties.
Mhm.
And when we run into something that we're not accustomed to or not licensed for or not an expert in, we bring in a specialist. We refer each other business.
Yeah.
So
We have partners that you
exactly.
can't do it all. That's what I've learned. That you can't sell every kind of
Anybody that
insurance.
says they can do everything by themselves without help or a staffing team,
You can't do anything.
yeah, they're gonna miss something. I apologize out there if there's any agents out there that do everything. More power to you because that's incredible. But even then, you probably have to go back to the books and study. Oh, okay, yeah, that's
It's
right, and that's fair.
it's hard to know everything. You can't specialize in everything.
No,
Otherwise, you
no. Well, doctors don't. I mean, think about how many times they pick up the
Exactly.
phone and they call somebody else. Hey, I'm seeing this on their foot. I think it's this. What's your thoughts? Oh, test this, test this.
Yeah.
It could be this. Okay, good go. And
Yeah.
that's how professionals work. That's
It
how it
is.
is. Because
It
there's things are always evolving. I've seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah. And the CE hour, the credit hours at my first year doing them, I was like, oh, they're not interesting. This year I got popcorn, not gonna lie. And I like popper. I was like, okay, and again, we have to know it, but it is interesting and it's always evolving.
It is.
Always.
And it always gives you stories
Yeah.
and antidotes and ways to explain it to customers that
Exactly.
they can understand. And that,
That's the key. That's the hardest thing I would say about my job is getting employees, customers, clients to understand what I'm telling them, breaking it down into, oh, here's a live example. If this happens to Kathy, if this happens to Joe, this is the best situation. This is what plan I think you should go on versus
there's
not.
always that need versus want and the spend. And it's one of those things that we as
Yeah.
professionals have to figure out, how do we bridge it? How do
Exactly.
we show them that this is really a good thing for you? You can gamble on it for a while, but at some point it's like, it's not worth gambling anymore because when you lose,
It's not worth it.
you lose a lot.
You lose, yeah.
So, Ava, how would somebody get a hold of you if they want to ask questions or
So the best way to get a hold of me, just send me an email. I have a policy, and we've discussed this before. We're within. It used to be 6 hours. Now it's, I would say, 18 hours where I respond to people, just to give them a heads up. Say we can meet in the next week or so, and I can help answer questions. Or hey, I'm busy. I'll get back to you next week at this time.
Okay,
So.
that's fair. And then, and did you like that again? That one-to-one
Yep.
kind of really. That
Yep.
makes sense.
I love
That's
one-to-one
awesome.
in person, preferably again. But if not, if we're in different states, you don't have to travel to me to talk about health insurance. You can
That's
always
awesome.
do a Teams meeting.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, if you need help with your commercial insurance or your homeowner's insurance, you can definitely reach out to me at Amex Commercial. Me and my team, we wrangle up insurance solutions for you, the working class. This is Cowboy Jody Collins. Thank you for joining us on the Working Class Roundup. Again, thank you, Ava, and congratulations on your wedding nuptial.
Oh,
That was
thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you. Thank
We'll
you.
see you next time. Happy sales and happy trails.
This is a working class